Honorable Men Discord. Let's talk Tiana Taylor and wanting aid from her ex-husband, Amon Shepard. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So the first thing I'm going to say is I'm seeing people in the comment section saying this is an old video. Regardless if it's a new, old video, it's still a topic that I think is a topic of value because it pertains to just how long does the protection of an ex, how long should it go for? All right, and this video I have queued up right now is Tiana Taylor speaking on how dissatisfied she was with Amon Shepard, I guess not coming to her aid, and this is after the divorce. Now, I don't know how old this video is. Allegedly, that's what people are saying online, but then it came up recently in the feed for whatever reason. So I'm gonna play this video and I have some other things queued up and we'll talk about it further.
Out there that is willing to protect their family no matter what. When I came to Iman and told him that I didn't feel safe, nothing else should have mattered. Why are we even on this phone arguing? I'm coming to you saying, yo, baby daddy, I don't feel safe. Like, niggas are talking about they gonna off me if I boom, boom, boom. I'm telling you, I don't feel safe. Yeah, well, back in 2023, when I did, What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I've done nothing but protect him the whole way through. You can Google Tiana and Iman's divorce. All you ever see me speak on is begging niggas to stay out of our business.
To play too damn.
All right, the first thing I got to say about what Tiana said, she's claiming, of course, with her telling her side of the story, she's claiming that all she's ever did was try to keep people out of their business. I find that hard to believe when you take to social media to let social media and the whole world know, or whoever follows you, you want them to know how bad of a man Amon Shepard allegedly is. All right, so on one hand, you're contradicting yourself. Which one is it? Are you trying to keep things private, or are you finding opportunities to make your ex-partner look bad? And also, why? Are you doing that because you didn't get the response you liked? See, I have an issue with situations like this because it's this half information that's given to the public and then we all run with it. I have some guys queued up that they're like, immediately the baby mother, you respond for the sake of the baby. And I don't fully disagree with that. But here's the thing. I don't like the idea of people mistreating you and at their disposal they think you're some type of puppet that they could pull your string and use these different things to get you moving. Because in all situations, regardless if we're talking about Tiana Taylor and Amon Shepard, in all situations, all relationships, after the split, what's the communication like? Is it cordial or is it disrespectful? All these things matter. See, when someone just takes to social media and tells their side of the story, and at the time of this recording, I didn't see anything that I didn't see a reply from Amon Shepard. Again, some people are saying this is an old video, so that's probably why I couldn't find anything. But nevertheless, what's the relationship like after the divorce? Is it respectful? Because he's making it seem as though that, she did everything on her end, and you could assume that what she's trying to say is that things are good, but we don't know that. And I know some people say, well, that shouldn't matter if there's an emergency. No. That's not how these things work. That's not how these things work. If someone's being disrespected during a relationship, after the relationship, and then you think just because you have a child with that person, you can snap your finger and they're going to run to your aid. And again, we're not talking about the running to the aid of the child that you both have. We're talking about you asking for help, because we don't know what the conversation on the phone is like. We don't know the proximity by which they live. Is this I have to jump on a plane type of situation? I gotta hop in a car? Am I around the corner? We don't know the details, and this is why, altogether, I've said this before, relationship topics issues need to stay off social media, period. It's not for the world to deliberate on who's the good parent, who's the good half, who's the better half, who's the horrible half. That's not for the world to decide. So that was her first mistake. And if she's anything like what she just did, going to social media, I could see why it wouldn't have worked out in the first place. Because to me, that's annoying. To me, that's annoying. Someone who takes to social media to air things out to get a response from the public. Because how do we know he didn't, in that conversation, he didn't say, he was asking her questions and she's like, just come. Why are you asking all these questions? There's people like that too. Just because Iman they have a child together doesn't mean that he doesn't have the right to ask questions about what he's getting himself into. See, we like to just, we're quick to judge and assume things, but she may be the type of woman that, you know, when he was asking too many questions, that irritated her, as though he's supposed to just hop in his car or book the flight and head over there. He might have been asking questions and she got annoyed with him, like, listen, I just told you I'm feeling comfortable. You need to come. You know, there's people out there like that. There's women out there like that, where they just want to pull your string at their disposal, and then when you don't respond at what they're to their liking, all of a sudden you're less than a man. And these same women will disrespect you as a man while you're with them, while you're not with them, and then turn around and then all of a sudden you got to turn into Superman because they're in need. It does not work like that. It just does not work like that. I don't care what anyone says about that. It just does not work like that. And again, I'm not talking about protecting your kids that are still your kid or kids that are still with with your ex. We're not talking about that. Absolutely, you got to go protect your kids. But what we're not going to do is be disrespectful all throughout and then think you're going to pick up the phone and someone is just hopping on a plane or jumping in a car. There needs to be some questions. Then another thing I have to add before I go into these other clips I have, there's women out there that don't even take the advice of the man, whether in the relationship, whether outside the relationship, and then they just want to make a phone call and then the man has to jump. Again, it's back to that whole, the man has to jump. That's not what we're doing as men. And if you co-sign that, then so be it. And some men might say, well, I'm making a decision on my own to go to aid. Well, that's good for you. That whole jumping when there was never respect in the first place, that's not happening. Now, I'll give suggestions on how to navigate until I can show up, if I choose to show up. And if you're disrespecting those suggestions, then this is why that's not working out for them. Because he may have given her suggestions in the meantime, and she didn't like that either. See, some women play games with the wanting to respect your decision making, wanting to respect your authority, and they play the game of, well, you're not my daddy, or they mistreat you because they feel as though your leadership, I should say, it's not so much authority, but your leadership is lacking. But then in moments like this, they're looking for your leadership, they're looking for your protection, but you never respected the leadership in the first place. And I'm sticking to Tiana and Shumpert. We don't know the full details from both sides, which is why this is horrible that she took to social media, which is why I'll always say, keep your personal business over social media. Let me get into these other things I have queued up and I'll talk about this further.
I know she joking. She gotta be joking because ain't no goddamn way. So you mean tell me you think you're supposed to get protection from a man that you already done took his whole damn check, on top of he gotta pay child support, and now you gotta start his whole goddamn life over, and you think your ex-husband owe you protection just because you're the mother of his goddamn kids? Where they do that at? Since when did an ex still deserve to give you protection, even if you're the mother of his goddamn kids, if he's no longer with you? I always try to make sense of that in the first goddamn place, because you all think about it. Why in the hell would you want protection of somebody that did wrong to you? Where in the right common sense does that even make sense? Like, I don't get it. I don't think I ever get it. That don't make sense, and no right line to fight. Like, I don't get it. Tiana Taylor, she played too much. She played too goddamn much, y'all. Tiana Taylor played too.
Moving along.
Good evening. So real quick, I just want to give my opinion on this Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert situation, right? As a man who has 2 children with 2 separate mothers, I have to say that immediately when one of my son's mothers call me and say that they feel unsafe, I'm on my way. I don't care about no divorce. I don't care about the breakup. I don't care about how bad it was. I don't care about how much money you got from me. I don't care about none of that. My first feeling is to protect my family. And because we have children together, you're always going to be a part of my family. So once the emotions are gone and all of the negative feelings about the money and all that stuff is gone, when the dust settles, you're always going to be my family until one of us are gone. And even after that. So for all you fellas out there saying, yo, she wasn't caring about your safety when you was paying all the bills, and I don't want to hear none of that. When your son's mother, your child's mother calls you and says, yo, I feel unsafe because of X, Y, and Z, you immediately jump into action. You go get her in the safest place possible, and then you discuss what's going on and why she feels unsafe. And if it's some BS, then you can respond that way. And hopefully they wouldn't call you for no BS. They're only going to hit you when it's serious. And based on the Tiana Taylor video I saw where she said, if I do X, Y, and Z, they're going to get me up out of here, knowing that she probably has bodyguards, it's a little bit bigger than what y'all are making it out to be. So I'm not pandering to the ladies, fellas. Don't try to play me. I'm just saying, as a man who has children with women that he's no longer with, if they call me, I'm on the way. And if you're not, double check that, bruh. Because if your kids are in danger, if the mother's in danger, your kids are in danger. And if you say, okay, well, just give me the kids. Yo, good evening.
Listen, I disagree with him. I think it's always something that you need to talk through to find out the detail. Again, she gave next to no information on the depth of what the problem was. And again, this also matters. It also matters the proximity in which the person lives. Are you calling me from across the country? Are you within the neighborhood? Because obviously, if you're within the neighborhood, if you're within driving distance, that's different. And we're talking driving distance, I want to say under an hour, because anything over an hour, what do you expect me to do? Even if I rush to throw my clothes on, time is of the essence if it's that severe. All those things matter. So deliberating on this is really, it really makes no sense, although I'm doing it for the purpose of just conversation and to find out your thoughts, those of you watching, your thoughts on this also. It's not as easy as I'm just going to rush to the aid. I need to know more things. And furthermore, another thing is the reason why you need to know more information. If it's something where the person's outside and there's lurkers outside in a suspicious vehicle, that's different. When it's ongoing and it's like it's happening whilst they're on the phone, that's different. But again, I would need to know exactly what it is to really come to an understanding and a determination as to how fast a person should move. You can't just, she's not giving any information. All she's really doing is just bashing him on for not, I guess, responding the way she wanted him to respond. I need to know whether or not she was the cause of whatever's going on. Because that's another thing too. I'm not rushing to the aid of someone who's potentially going to cause this situation again and think that I'm going to be, again, a puppet on a string every time you mess up. You got to know the type of person you're dealing with too, which is probably why it didn't work out. It probably didn't work out for a number of reasons. Maybe it was Ahmad's fault. I think she was saying it was his fault. Who knows? But the reason why I'm bringing that up also is because you could rush to the aid of someone who will weeks later, months later, repeat the same issues, and then you're right back at it, as though you didn't move on and you're trying to start a new life with someone else. Now, regardless if he's single, again, what's their relationship like? What's she like as a person? Is she the type to start things and then know that she can call you and then you're going to jump at I'm helping her out? because this gentleman who I just played, his advice, you know, it sounds good. He said something along the lines of, after the fact, then we can find out, you know, what's really going on. That's if you come out of that alive. What are we talking about here? That's if you come out of it alive. Yeah, you spring to you spring to action, but if you don't know the full detail of what's going on and whether or not she caused it or whether she didn't cause it, you still need to know the full detail. Who's the issue with? Is it with multiple people? Is it one person? Where do they live? How far do they live from you? Are they in front of are they at the doorstep now? All these things matter, because when you pull up, you don't want to pull up blindly to any situation. I don't understand how people are giving advice like this without knowing full context. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa.
And let me say something also. This is why, you know, they hated Kevin Samuels for saying this. This is why don't be so quick to live the Hollywood lifestyle and be rushing to get rid of the father of your kids. Now, obviously, if that person's putting hands on you, I'm not going to advocate for that. I'll never advocate for that. But just how bad was the situation that you needed to divorce that person? That's another question. Because it makes no sense to divorce that person, but then you're looking at them as a protector still, because they have the kids, because you had kids together. Maybe you should have reconsidered and think about those potential things happening in the future. Don't be so quick to put pen to paper.
So don't try to double back acting like you don't know what the temperature is. You couldn't live with your failure, and where did that lead you? Back to Iman. You see? You're on the internet hollering about, oh, you only feel safe with Iman. Clearly you didn't, because you did him bad. You took everything and left him to be with some green ass nigga. And now you feel safe.
And let me say something about that before I press play again. I've seen on social media an instance where a woman moved on from her ex-husband. She was with someone who was well off, and rather than carry out the norms of the system and take half and so on and so forth, she let him keep everything because she knew she moved on and she was in a stable situation where she didn't need it. That would have just been extra, and she didn't. As a matter of fact, let me correct that. The new husband that she was with had to tell her to take that man off of child support, etc., because he knew he was able to take care of her and the kids and everything. He's like, there's no need for you to move on with me, and this guy is damaged by the split that you guys have gone through. So, you know, I commend that man for advising his wife to do that. But the reason why I bring that up is, again, in situations like this, there's women knowing that they're and not so much Tiana Taylor's situation, because I don't know her situation financially. I don't know Amon's, but there's women that know that they moved on, and whether they're still financially straight by themselves or they're even further straight because of the person that they're now dating, or whatever the situation is, they will still think that they could call that ex and give them help after that ex has been broken down to nothing, right? Which is why the best solution is to try to work things out with the partner that you created a child with. I know women don't want to hear that. I know some men don't want to hear that. But if it's not something where you're being beat, like the guy's putting hands on you, it's something to consider. Especially if you know you're the type to be calling the guy. This is what I'm telling you. If you don't think you're going to be needing anything from the kid's father, then that's a different scenario. But if you think that you're going to be running back to him for something, consider not leaving him.
Don't try to double back, baby. It's okay. It's all right. He doing great. You see him on TV, right? Yeah. You see him on TV now, right? He making his kids proud. He ain't even think about no other bitches. He making his kids proud. You go ahead and do your thing and let my man do his thing. I'm tired of you trying to ruin his life. You feel what I'm saying? Don't do too much. Go ahead. Stop trying to double back. Go over there with that shit. Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa.
Let's get into this.
Real quick, I heard about this whole Tiana Taylor and her ex-husband. She called him for help and he wasn't willing to help her. First of all, my son, my oldest son, is about to be 22. If I call Mr. Powers, his father, right now and tell him I feel like I'm in danger, he's coming guns a-blazing. I don't know what's going on with y'all niggas out here, but the mother of your child said they feel like they're in danger, and most likely those kids are with the mother. I'm gonna need you to hop to it. Hop to it, because my husband, he coming guns a-blazing. Matter of fact, my baby daddy and my husband might come guns a-blazing together and high-five each other. Get y'all shit together. The fuck kind of weak nigga shit y'all on? Real quick, I heard
Crazy work to me. Again, in all of these things that are said, it really depends on the scenario. Here this woman is saying both her husband and her ex will come guns a-blazing, right? How lucky and fortunate you are to be able to say two men will come to your aid. But again, we're speaking hypothetical here. Hypothetically, what exactly is the scenario that would involve your ex and your husband coming to your aid? What is the scenario? Because first of all, in that scenario, whatever she's talking about, which she didn't talk about a specific scenario, I, as a husband, would feel offended if your ex-husband's coming to your aid too. So I don't know what she's talking about. We'd be high-fiving. I would look at that as like, what's going on here? Why is he here? But you see, again, it's the convenience of, for some women, not all women, being just knowing that they have that authority or that control over certain men, that they could say, you know, I need assistance, and that man's gonna come out. And a lot of these stories, I did an episode not too long ago with a sister called her brothers, and they both ended up dead, defending her from a relationship she was in. A lot of these scenarios is not so much about being fearful of what you're going to walk into, but just know that when you respond, there's a probability you may not go back home. This is why it's not so much as like Tiana calling. It's not that simple. Yes, you have kids there, but you have to find out the logistics, find out the situation at hand, figure out how to, first and foremost as an ex, figure out how to get your child safe, and then think about the ex-spouse. But in her situation with having a husband, I don't know what she's talking about where she's saying both of them would show up, and maybe what she's saying is truthful, but that's not making any sense to me. Because again, if I'm her husband, hearing her speak like that, I would be upset, because I'd be like, why would he even have to come? What high-fiving you talking about? And that doesn't mean that the two don't get along, but I would still feel some type of way if I see the ex show up like he's helping out too. Because I'm gonna look at her like, choose one. We're not gonna be doing this. Like, what are we doing here? Are you kidding me? Both of us? No. Then it's either I'm here and he goes back, or he stays and I'm leaving. But it's not gonna be two of us high-fiving. I don't know what this woman's talking about. But I'm gonna end with this video right here.
Fuck you mean? You mad at Amon Shepard because you don't feel safe. His money didn't feel safe, and you took it. The fuck? You divorced that man. His responsibility no longer pertains to you. It pertains to that child. If he needs to protect that child, and if he's willing to protect you, then okay. You took that man cars and clothes, all the nigga. My fault. You can't get mad. Talk about some, oh, baby daddy. Exactly. That's all he is to you. Your baby daddy. Leave that man alone. Say it, Tiana Taylor.
I'm just going to end with this. Keep in mind, this is the Tiana Taylor that's no longer living in Harlem, unless she is in Harlem in an expensive residence. I'm saying that to say this. You and Amon are on a different tax bracket. You shouldn't have to call them. That should be a last resort. All right? You guys can afford protection. First, you could start with the same protection that the regular everyday person has, which is 911, unless you think you just, you're living by street rules, which that's a whole nother subject. But you can start with 911. If not, you're in the price bracket to get aid. So I think this thing was more of a setup for Amon, because it's one of those things where you knew his response was going to be, he wasn't going to just leap and jump. So it's like you make the call just to test temperatures. Sometimes it's a test. Let me see. I'm not saying that the situation isn't real, but sometimes women, if not all the time, they know the outcome of how the person's going to respond, but you put it out there just to see if you still got it. And he was like, meh. he hesitated, he probably turned it down, or whatever the case is, and you just jump to social media conveniently to let the world know how bad of a ex-spouse he is. Listen, again, they say this was old. This is old video, but it resurfaced now. And my stance on it, to conclude, is that it really is a case-by-case situation, and I'm not saying that in regard to the children. Obviously, for the children, you act as sooner than later, as soon as possible. But in terms of the ex, not the children, and I know you say it's one and the same because it's the kid's mother, yes, but I still would need to know more detail to know what I'm getting into. Because again, there's some women who start a lot of situations and get the guys jammed up, and the guys losing their life over it, or the guy saves them and they go back to a similar situation, and they think they're gonna call you again down the road, as if you're gonna just keep jumping up, throwing clothes on, playing Superman. At some point in time, Superman is gonna come to heads with Kryptonite, and that's gonna be in the end of Superman. And this is the way life is. That's my thoughts on it. I would need to know more information to really dive into their particular situation that she spoke on, which she didn't give any real information. So that's my thoughts on it. But what's your thoughts on it? Listen, as always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, stay honorable.